Hi, everybody. We are digging into Caterpillar history. I'm Rusty Dunn. So glad to be here in the same room, our own movie theater, with my good friend and colleague, Corporate Heritage Archives Manager, Lee Fosberg. Well, I love digging back into history, and the reason we're in a theater is let's call it a unique movie, a short film, if you would. And you may be aware of a film called The Great Tractor Race, which Caterpillar made many decades ago. We're going to get into and look at the film as to why it was made. But a little context here, Lee. Back in, 90 plus years ago, people were going to movies a lot more. There were a lot of cinemas, and they went, once or twice a week?
Yeah, think about that, right? It's almost as much as I turn on Netflix,
And The Great Tractor Race would be considered a short film, something that people might watch between two films, two Hollywood-made movies.
They would call it a short. And they were usually kind of fun or comical or a little of both, right? And that's what this is. Yeah.
And, at the time, with Caterpillar being a new company, we're looking for a way to promote our products, our dozers, our brand. And what better way to do that than to make sort of a fun promotional film. I'm not sure it could get made today as we walk you through The Great Tractor Race. From a safety standpoint, we should point out what you're going to see and what we walk you through, because there are a lot of folks who have seen this and will swear people got hurt during the making of this. A person got killed. None of that happened.
Nope.
They used professionals on these dozers for this race, right?
Movie magic, right?
And we teamed up with, Paramount, correct? Still in existence today, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just kind of walk through it. One is we always say, right, Cat built Hollywood. And we say that because, 10 years before this, think about it, Caterpillar built the Hollywood sign, or had our machines had a lot to do with it.
Made that possible. Yeah.
So that was like step one, right? Well, maybe this is like step two or step three, and Caterpillar collaborated with Paramount Pictures, right? It was, I guess, early product placement.
Absolutely.
And our machines were involved with working in two different locations within Peoria.
Sort of set the stage for us in terms of where they're putting this race on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Peoria, East Peoria area. So if you go out there, folks, watching this, but have never been to this region, go look at the map. But kind of set that up for us.
Yeah. Well, I guess as they would say back in the day, Dateline Peoria, right? Yeah. Well, what we learned through our research is that, we went back to the old newspapers. It got a lot of coverage that they were shooting this film in Peoria. Right?
The Peoria newspaper today covered the heck out of it.
That was a big thing. So, like in early May, it was shot in two locations. One was in Peoria City proper. We'll see that an area where they brought in, demolished a barn, which, as we know, was quite eventful within the film. And the other place was called Cinder Point, which was down by the Illinois River, and that's where most of the race went on, and that's where the finish line also happened, and we'll see who the winner of the race was.
So there was no sets built. These were existing old buildings that they used for this. So let's roll this, and what we're seeing are probably, 11 or 12 machines, I suppose, used in this thing.
It really was the old and the new of the Cat product line. And, we see them lined up here, and the old machines would have been the former CL Best machines, the pre-merger machines, the Cat 60 and the Cat 30, but we also see the Cat 10, and we also see the Cat 20, which were newly designed by the new Caterpillar company.
And the thing is, and these guys aren't strapped in. They've got no cab over them or anything like that. But you look at this train, and while we're hearing the old-timey music going, we're sort of demonstrating to people sitting out there in the theater what these machines are, what they can do.
That's right.
So from a sales and marketing perspective, there's a purpose behind this.
Yes, absolutely. And these machines were, they were made in Peoria at that time. They were no longer made in California, and they were used
this
across
guy
the world.
Went flying, and then gave sort of a dramatic flair there with his leg, but then he gets right back on.
That is what you would call like a professional operator, right?
Absolutely. Your operators of today might disagree.
Yes.
But for the film itself, it works out. Yeah. It works out nicely. But what's interesting, they're working in sort of I mean, this is a big sandbox. This is a wide area of existing trees, stumps, rocks.
Yeah.
The ground itself that is rough. But look, now we get into where these buildings.
Now this
stand.
is where the real movie magic happens, right? These are where the biggest stunts are.
Look at it go right through that thing. Holy cow! And I think at one point in the open cab, he's pushing away.
Right. Don't do that at home.
Pushing away sections of the bar as he goes through it, and someone right close behind him following him. Yes. Oh, that is really interesting.
Now this is the most famous scene. So right, you see the person going into the barn.
Right, and he's going right.
And as you can see, again, through movie magic, there's no one on that machine.
Okay, so no one was literally on that dozer as the shed came down on top of the cab, and that's where some of the mythology comes in there a little
absolutely.
bit. So it's important to emphasize that. And actually, isn't it a matter, after this was filmed, we went, and I know we don't have the audio, we don't have the color, and here we are at the finish line. But we went into the yellow machines at that point, right? Not too long after this.
So to give you an idea, right, well, we know we're during the Great Depression.
By the way, here's the winner, and it looks like he's getting a pillow because it was rough on his bottom as you're going through that race with the... he even acknowledged it. See that?
Right. Not the cab comfort of today, right?
If we just had the audio. But sorry to interrupt the point, but the yellow, the highway yellow, and then we switched over to diesel power. So this was sort of an historical moment as a company.
We're like about 5 or 6 months from coming out with our first diesel tractor, as we know that really changed the world, changed the size of the company. We talked a little bit, there was an early motor grader. It kind of shows, the machines and the technology show the old Cat, which is kind of the pre-merger companies, the Holtz and the Best. But you're seeing the new Caterpillar, which is really Cat going from a farm type of business to an earth mover, the earth mover we know today.
And you wonder if, with the success, because several years before the Great Tractor Race was made, several years before, they had a film called Manpower.
That's right.
Which maybe, I'm wondering, and you can give us a little background on that, but maybe the success of that helped lead us to doing more promotional films like you saw.
Yeah, so yet, like another film where our products were featured, probably, it's really the first movie that we know that it was done. It was a silent film, and they actually used our equipment to promote it across the U.S. They put a tractor in front of the theater, so that was really the first choice. And as you and I did an earlier video, right? Cat products continued to stay in films even up until today. You watch a film, there's a good chance you'll see a piece of Cat equipment.
Or the apparel, the Cat hats, the Cat boots. But you're right, as the years went on, earthworm tractors was a big one. Hellfighters, an old John Wayne movie back in the 60s, Alien, Skyfall.
The Departed, one of my favorites.
That's exactly right. So there's a great history there. Let's put a final cap on the Great Tractor Race. This was sort of the film's acknowledgement was resurrected back, in the 75th anniversary, around 2000. We made this available, copies of it. People could actually buy a copy of this. Pretty cool.
Going back to Cat in the 30s, right? This was shown in facilities. It was shown in meetings. For almost 100 years, right? It's just slowly got integrated within our culture, and it's one of my favorite things to talk about.
Lee, we love digging into history with you, and this was so much fun. I wish we could kind of keep our theater here. Next time, though, I promise. You bring the popcorn, I'll bring the candy, and that'll keep us covered.
I'm going to hold you to that.
All right, I love it. Digging into history. Can't wait to bring you another one soon. Take care, everybody.